Remind me remind me to make sure we save the recording this time. Welcome everybody to Lunch with Len and Laura. It's June 6th, and I am really beyond being excited because as everybody knows, we have a really special guest on today, and because we're in a Zoom room right now, there's no way to hide anybody away and then bring them out and pretend like we do webinars and things, because we just can't do that right now. So we have Jane with us, and I don't know how much you know about Jane's background. I'm going to tell you just a little inkling, and then I'm going to just sort of get out of the way, shut up, and turn it over to Jane. But Jane is such an incredible inspiration. She came to this country. She didn't speak the language. She was a very insecure housewife. And I mean, I'm saying things that you've written, right, Jane? I can say all this stuff, right?
Yes, that's right.
I suppose, I should let you tell your story. But, Jane is just a marvel of inspiration. She's just grown up in the industry in the last few years, coming to this country with no background, didn't speak the language, insecure, bad marriage, and et cetera. And she's an example of a woman who simply made a decision that she was going to change her life, and she did it. And she's at the top of the game now, and she's a platinum executive in Asante, and an incredible girl. She just and she just drove away in her brand new. Tell us about your car, Jane. Did you bring a picture of it, or did you drive up in it today, or do you have to drive it home yet?
No, it's still in Chicago. It's being shipped on a truck.
Oh, it is. Okay. You've got to be really excited.
Yes.
All right. So let me just get out of the way and shut up and turn it over to you, Jane. You want to tell us a little bit of your background and story? And we got some people on here who really may not know very much about you.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning, brunch, lunch, brunch. Yes, so Len shared, I came from Russia, and when I was in Russia, I skipped most of the school because I had severe allergies, and I didn't know that I had allergies. I had a cat, and that was causing me to sniff and always have sore throat, and basically I thought I had a chronic disease and stayed home most of the time. So I skipped most of the traditional education, which I thought was a curse up until I entered entrepreneurial world, and I realized that actually it was a blessing because I wasn't brainwashed, because a lot of us when we're born, we're actually in the traditional education for 12 or however many years we're in school, we're dictated what to do, and the special curriculum that is not even relevant once you are out of schooling, if you're not even guaranteed a job anymore. And like my daughter goes through school right now, and she's like, oh my mom, all of these numbers, all of this whatever they're studying, it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what it even means, but it takes up a lot of our time. And if you are studying all that material, it's really, really hard to go into the entrepreneurial world if you have been programmed for so many years that this is the path that you should take. So up until later in life, I thought it was really lacking. I had really low self-esteem. I thought, okay, I'm really dumb. I'm stupid. I don't know what's going on. I missed all of this. All the successes for people that did go to college, that did go to universities and things like that. So when I came to the United States, I dropped out of college because it was so expensive, and I had clean homes, and I couldn't continue doing it because of my allergies. So later on, I got married, had kids, and was staying at home. And basically, I was just looking at different magazines and TV shows, and everything that is on TV is actually designed to dumbify the society, because it's just basically negative news, constant mass media, whatever they're telling us is to stay in mediocrity. So I thought success would never be available to me because I had no connections. I had no passion. I was just kind of floating through life, and always pessimistic, always negative, always focusing on everything. What are the flaws in everything? In my looks, that I hated my voice. I felt really like a gray mouse. I didn't know how to hold conversation, because I had no idea of the subject that people were talking about, because I didn't really go to school. I didn't know geography. I didn't know literature. I still don't know those topics, but now I realize that it's not the most important what you don't know, as long as you are know what you're passionate about and can fulfill your life with what you love, instead of just what society thinks you should do and what you should know and what you should keep up with, and the trends, or you should know this or you should know that. No, you shouldn't. You should know what you feel good about. And once I started on a journey of personal development, I was invited to a meeting about six and a half years ago. Somebody invited me to a network marketing meeting, and I went in there, and I saw these people excited with a spark in their eye, and they're all jumping up with joy, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to be rich. And I thought they all were crazy because it was unusual, and I thought they are all lunatics. So I went in there, and I started researching. But a lot of I was so excited. I was calling everybody I knew about what I discovered. I lost my voice because I was on the phone so much with the people that I knew. Nobody listened to me. Everybody laughed at me. I was really, really depressed. But I thought, okay, some of these people can do it. Maybe I should search and figure out their stories. So I went and I came up with enough strength to ask somebody to share their story, and I recorded on video. And I thought, oh, I should just go and listen to people who did it and who are successful, instead of listening to anybody who is negative about it. So I started searching out people that were successful, not just in my company, but in other companies. I went to generic events that really, really big shock to me was just the presence of people that were successful. I've never been surrounded by, I was like my leader that invited me, she was a vice president of a bank. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this lady is so successful. She has courage. She has, she can do it. She can speak on stage. She's not scared. And I couldn't put two words together, but whatever, if she's doing it, it's probably not a scam, or she has authority. So we went to a big, huge event, and we were sitting very, very far up in the bleachers in the huge Coliseum, and everybody who was successful, they were sitting on the floor, and they were all roped off, and we couldn't get to them. And then I asked my leader, can you let me through there? I want to see the stage closer. I want to see what these people look like close up. So I went in there, and then we went to the bathroom, and I saw this lady that just spoke on stage, and I'm like, oh, she just looks like a regular lady here. She's she's not different. So I asked her for an interview, and that was a huge shift for me, which I think a lot of the media wants to keep a huge different barrier in the mindset of people, like a regular people, and the select few people, like celebrities or reality TV people, which they are just regular people that do certain thing really good, or in some cases they don't even do anything special. Like reality TV, I don't think they do anything special other than they're just on TV and a lot of people are watching them, so they're popular. So why is their opinion more important than somebody else's, even though they're the same kind of people? So I thought, oh my gosh, I should start doing videos, because I watched this other guy and he doesn't even know that he impacted me. So let's do videos. And nobody in my other company wanted to do videos. They were doing meetings, and they wanted to continue doing meetings, and they wanted for everybody to stand in their basement and share their story for 5 minutes. So I did the story, and the first time I shared the story, I was so shaken. I was red. I really, really was scared. I couldn't get enough confidence. So I'm like, okay, I should do videos, because in the video, at least you're talking and nobody's here. You're just sitting there in private, just looking in the little thing and on your phone. So it was horrible. At first, I was like really bad. And I thank God I saved some of those videos, because now, like a year later, I was practicing for a whole year, because I was just in my headset, like right now I'm in my headset, and I was just listening to inspirational stories, personal development, the mindset. Yes, you can change the mind. Whatever you focus on will come into existence. I studied law of attraction. I was like so fascinated with the whole thing. And at that particular time, I was going through a divorce, which was really, really hard. And I had no support, no moral support, no monetary support, no nothing. But I was just like so fascinated with the whole thing. And everybody outside in the immediate outside world thought that I was inappropriately happy, because if I'm going through a divorce, I should be really discouraged. I should be crying all the time, which I saw the light in the vision that I could do it. I saw potential. The more leaders I met, the more I realized there's nothing actually special. They just followed some steps. They learned how to provide value to their fans, and they got a fan base. They established trust with people, so that people decided to invest money with their programs, with their products, with whatever. So I thought, oh my gosh, if I learn enough, maybe I could share what I'm learning. So I started learning like crazy. And because I have this short-term memory, I always thought that I was so stupid, so dumb, that I couldn't remember long-term how I learned things. So I decided to record videos. So I was like, whenever I learned something, I would record a video, I would record a tutorial, share it with people. And if I have to remember how I did it, I have to go back and watch my own video. So that was my tactic. And I started looking in the mirror and saying affirmations, basically lying to my mind. And I was pretending in my head that, oh, I'm this successful person. And one time I woke up on all sweaty, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a channeling or an angel or something showing me the vision. My story is going to be inspiring so many people. I have to record videos of my struggles and how hard it is, and like I have a mess in the house and the kids are running like crazy and everybody is yelling, and I'm like doing this webinars or whatever. So I started recording like my messy kitchen, or I'm walking to the school and I'm like, see, I'm like a regular person, but you're gonna see today is this date, but I'm still not successful. So I started recording this crazy stuff. My kids thought I was insane. My ex-husband thought I was insane, but I clearly saw myself on stage, and I just started attracting people out of the blue, people reaching out to me. I started winning contests. I became the top female blogger out of the blue, because I envisioned myself winning, and I didn't even know how I would win. So, and I won, and that attracted a lot of people on social media to see me. So the more little successes I established, the more I became confident that my story could inspire people. So, and then like recently, a few years ago, I shared my video on stage where I was crying, the one that I recorded where I started, and I felt so defeated. Nobody listened to me, and everybody was laughing at me. My friends were laughing at me. They were saying, oh my gosh, when you're successful, I'm gonna quit my job and come cook for you. And I was like so defeated. I had this one guy, and he's a very well-connected, and he was supposed to come to my meeting, and I thought if he comes, I'm going to be so successful, and he didn't come, and I was crying on the floor. I was so discouraged, and I was writing on the piece of paper, and I said, oh my gosh, my story is going to inspire millions of people, that somebody without education can inspire people, can transform their life financially and health-wise. So I was just like writing and crying, bawling, and then I laminated this piece of paper. And I remember my ex-husband was coming to me and he said, nobody's going to watch your videos. What are you doing? You're getting crazier and crazier every day. So I was just like, why people are so mean? Like, if you don't support, just don't say anything, right? And we all go through this. And I just detached myself from all the people that weren't supportive, and I immersed myself in the online world where people had communities that they were supportive. And I saw people started liking my videos, even though my videos were unedited. I didn't know what I was doing. My phone didn't even have a camera on this end. I was just like turning it around, and I didn't even know what I was filming, and it was so bad. But people liked the authenticity, and people liked, and so little by little I started gaining more people who were inspired by my story. And fast forward now, I am making a six-figure income, and it's just the beginning with Asante Organics. And I just want to let people know it's really, really hard to, if you are immersed in an environment where people are not entrepreneurial, people not businessmen, people think you're nuts, people think it will never work, and you have really close connections. In my case, I kind of became isolated because of my divorce. I didn't really have friends. I only had friends where we were friends, like family friends. Our family was friends with other families. And once I went through the divorce, I had no friends left, and nobody supported me in my business. So I felt like it was easier for me, but I see so many people that are it's so hard for them because other people perceive them as they're doing something weird, or they're crazy, or they're just trying to rip everybody out and sell stuff. And it's so hard for people to disassociate themselves with those opinions, and those opinions keep them locked up. And now I look at it, the more crazy you are, the bigger your vision is. All the crazy visionaries, they were mocked, they were laughed at, they were thought that they were unique or different or crazy. So now I look at it as a benefit, and it's all a matter of perspective, perception, because our mind consists of perception, programming, intuition, memory, what else? I forgot what there's six of what mind consists of. And the same situation can, whatever your background is, how you were brought up, the way that you look at something might be completely different from a different person that looks at the same situation. So it's not depends on the situation, it depends on the outlook, how we look at it. And now just every challenge that comes my way, I look for a positive lesson. I look for how it's probably supposed to make me stronger. Probably I should look in a different direction, but I never beat myself up with where I used to say, oh my gosh, like a lot of people are so negative, and misery loves company. And I learned the way that our outlook on life, if we're looking for always positive things, we will see positive in every situation. And the other secret is I completely isolated myself from TV, news, magazines. I have no idea what's going on in life. My mom is always like, oh my gosh, have you seen this? The kids, the rape, the disaster, the this, the this. I'm like, Mom, stop telling me. I don't want to feel this. I know this is happening, but I don't want to, like, every time we hear something negative, we feel it. And the way we feel it, it brings our energy down, and you have no energy left to do anything that you want to do to inspire. You're like, want to lay in bed and rest. And also depends on what you eat. If you're putting crap in your body, then it won't function properly. You will feel depressed. It affects your hormones. It affects your energy level. It affects everything. So it all comes together, but it's been a long process. And the more you're eager to learn, oh, how do I become better? How do I improve? You start finding these courses, tutorials, videos, informations, like you're on a radio and you're sitting in your car and let's just twist the dial a little bit and you're different music. Twist the dial a little bit, completely different music. Twist the dial, completely different information. That's how we are programmed with the reticular activating system. And whatever we are focused on, we will find that information out of millions of information that comes at us every day through different channels, through online, through magazines, through TV, through whatever. It's like me, whenever I saw Tesla and I test drove it and I was like, oh my gosh, Tesla. So every time we would drive, I'm pointing to my kids, oh, Tesla, 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 Tesla. And where I live here, it's like every third car is a Tesla. And so my kids were like, crazy, Mom, stop it. And I was like, so whatever you see, if you just bought red shoes, you see all the people that wear red shoes because your brain knows where to focus and it sees it more clearly. So if you have a goal of finding, okay, let's say, oh, I want to eat better. So you are searching in Google for stuff. You're not searching how to make, whatever hamburgers that are, the fattiest hamburgers. Or I don't know, but I'm just saying you are searching for specific information, specific terms. And if you're focused on something, then you'll find that information because all of this around us. Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
And Laura mentioned that she wanted to see like this list of this I am statements, because I used to say to myself, and sometimes we are so hard on ourselves. And in Russia, when I grew up, all the women have low self-esteem. First of all, if you're a child, all the neighbors or relatives or whoever are not consciously are not allowed to say positive comments towards your kid because they will jinx it. I don't know why, but in Russia, if you say something nice towards something, you will jinx it. So don't say nothing nice. So then you're taught, you're trained, oh, don't be proud of yourself. What are you, the center of the universe? Don't be like crazy and only like be humble. And yeah, it's nice to be humble, but you need to praise yourself. We are all lacking praise, and sometimes when people praise us, they have an agenda, so they are not genuine. And when you praise yourself, when you start praising yourself, at first it's weird and you're like, well, but in every relationships, in business, in anywhere, when you have confidence, you attract people to follow you because you gain this like statement about that you're confident in your own body, you're confident with your own abilities, you're confident with whatever you're doing, and you have confidence that you will help other people to achieve what you've got. So you need to start lying to your brain, even if you don't believe it. At first, I was always looking in the mirror, and it was a crazy, I just remember those, and now I'm thinking, looking back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and a lot of people do it, and I did it. So I would wake up, I would look in the mirror, and not just look in one mirror, I would take the mirror, the second mirror, and I would put it in the back of my head, and I would look in the direction to the side, and then the reflection in that mirror, oh, in that mirror, my nose is not straight. Oh, in that mirror, my teeth are a little to the left. And I would just like look at all the flaws and look at like, and I was just like, oh, I'm this, I'm not smart, my memory is short, I don't have an education, my whatever. And it was just like nonstop, constant bad programming. So then I was like, oh no, I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent, I'm attracting, I'm so energetic, I'm the light, I'm inspiring, so I was just like lying to myself. And now I do believe that I'm enough. I do believe that why not me? If somebody else has done it, why not me? And the other thing is, Len shared on the call, that you have to admire people that are more successful instead of envy or jealousy or have bad feelings about looking at, oh, look at them, they're like, they have money, oh, they flaunt it, or they whatever. You should say, oh my gosh, if they have done it, there's a way that people can achieve it. It's been done already. I can do it. It's available to me. So change the feeling that you're feeling towards people that are successful and have what you want. And I can read those letters. I mean, not letters, the praise. It says, I'm accountable, adaptable, adventurous, alert, ambitious, appropriate, assertive, attentive, authentic, aware, beautiful, brave, brilliant, calm, candid, capable, certain, charismatic, I'm clear, I'm collaborative, committed, I'm compassionate, I'm connected, I'm considerate, consistent, I contribute, I'm cooperative, I'm courageous, creative, curious, dedicated, determined, disciplined, I'm a dreamer, I'm driven, dynamic, effective, efficient, empowered, energetic, enthusiastic, ethical, excited, expressive, I'm facilitator, I'm faithful, fearless, flexible, friendly, generous, genuine, I am grateful, I'm happy, hardworking, honest, honorable, humorous, imaginative, independent, I'm innovative, I'm inspirational, and I have integrity, I'm intentional, I'm interested, intimate, joyful, lively, logical, loving, loyal, I'm nurturing, open-minded, organized, passionate, patient, peaceful, I'm a planner, I'm playful, poised, polite, powerful, practical, proactive, I'm a problem solver, productive, reliable, resourceful, responsible, I'm self-confident, I have sense of humor, I'm sensual, I serve others, I'm sincere, skillful, smart, spiritual, spontaneous, stable, strong, successful, supportive, tactful, trusting, trustworthy, trustful, versatile, vibrant, warm, and willing and wise. So that's a awesome word trigger to use. And I can send a picture to you guys.
Thank you. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Am I unmuted? Yeah. So, Jane, what was that question you asked me a half hour ago? What are we going to talk about today?
Right.
Is there anybody here who doesn't just love this woman? She is such an incredible inspiration. Jane, you are absolutely marvelous. You really are. And you know, you so much, you're just in the embodiment of, we know what it takes. Very few people are willing to do it. Very few people are willing to put in the effort that you had to put in to overcome the obstacles that you had, and they were enormous. And we have people on this call, and I know the people on the call, and we have people on the call here who have families that are denigrating. There's a way. What do you waste your time doing that stuff for? It'll never work. You're never going to make any money doing this. Blah 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 blah. We have people that are here that are going through that right now, and they have to just find a way to rise above it and look in the mirror and make themselves feel good about themselves and about what they're doing. And
it's really hard. It's like you're almost need to get enough courage and say, I would really appreciate if you're not supportive, at least not even say anything, and let me I'm happy, just if you can't be happy for me. And sometimes you don't feel happy. Like when you're starting, you don't feel happy, you don't see results, you don't see anything, and people are just like, you're just lunatic, you're just crazy. And it's really, really hard. And in theory, it's everybody says that, but it's really hard to overcome. And once you only overcome it, it's easier to say, but at the time it's really difficult. And you can only almost, like, you need to block everything out, tune everything out, and and try not to pay attention to people and just say it's available to me. It's going to be, other people have done it. And what Ray Higdon taught me that I thought was really, really valuable, he would look at things that he wanted and he would go buy it and say, I can afford it, I can afford it, I can afford it. So he was just lying to his brain when he didn't have the money, and he was just like, yeah, I can afford it, so that it's no big deal. And at first, when I didn't, like the whole first year I was in Asante, I was working really hard nonstop, like 24/7, always in the headset, always on the phone calls, on the webinars and everything. And I was making like $300 a month at the end of the first year. And a lot of people give up. They're used to, if you're an employee, you go, you work, you get paid. And it's easier with business people that realize, that understand, when you buy a business, you invest a lot of money, and just to recoup that money takes a few years. And then to see the profit, it takes a few more years. It's all based on sales. It's all based on client acquisition. And, but with people that's why I'm saying I have only worked for 1 year in my whole life. And I didn't get that job myself. My ex-husband asked his boss as a favor to hire me to test some software programming. And I felt like a failure, like I couldn't accomplish anything. I felt like really worthless, and I'm not worthy. And it took a long time, to just to think differently. And that's why I think personal development and looking at inspirational stories and biographies of successful people every day, it's like you're feeding your body, you're feeding your mind. And then at first I couldn't say 2 words together. I couldn't put 2 words together. And I would listen to somebody who's poised and who has great speech flow, and I would record them on a video, and then I would transcribe everything on a piece of paper, and I would memorize it like a poem in school. And I practice it and practice and practice. And I felt like my brain was a sponge, where it was just like flowing in. And then it just started flowing out. When somebody would ask me a question, I would answer the question, and I just was surprised how it all flowed out so nicely. And the other thing is that I know my limitations, like I cannot speak with extravagant words and things like that. But the more simple I speak, I think the more people see that my story, if she could do it, I could do it too. But a lot of people still have all these different mental blocks and mental self-worthy, not enough feelings. Even people that are successful, I've listened to a lot of the training where the psychologist was saying she is the best therapist, and she treats celebrities, and she treats overachievers. They have a lot of money, but they feel like they are not enough, and they want to achieve more and more and more to prove to somebody because their parents didn't praise them, or they felt like they have to prove to somebody that they've got this, and they've never felt good enough or grateful for what they have. And the lesson here is to be grateful for what we already have, and be in such a pleasurable feeling that more is coming, more is on the way, and be in a state of expectancy that we're going to make it.
And if you're becoming a movie star or something like that, it's sort of hard for us to imagine how a movie star could feel insecure or feel like they're not worthwhile or anything, because the whole society accepts them. Movie stars are put up on a pedestal. But us, one of the things we talked about last night with money, only 1% of the population has 95% of the wealth. I mean, we are amongst the people that are in this are amongst a very small percentage of the population. It's true that 99% of the people out there don't understand what we do. They don't accept it. They don't like it. They don't want to be part of it. They think we're nuts. They think we're crazy. It's true. It's true. And we are. We're absolutely crazy, aren't we? You gotta be nuts. You gotta be nuts.
We're fun crazy.
Yeah.
That's
So it's part of the game, but it's really true. We just have to expect and understand that 99% of the world is going to look at us and go, "What are you doing that for? That's a really dumb idea. That doesn't work. Didn't anybody tell you?" everybody feels it does that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we somehow just have to develop that thick skin. And, you know, my story will inspire millions of people. And, you know, and yours will. You know, there's no question, Jane.
And you should say my story inspires in present tense.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. My story inspires millions of people. Thank you. I stand corrected. So what do your kids think about you bringing home your Tesla now? You know, she's bringing home her Tesla, ladies and gentlemen.
My kids, my son is excited. My daughter is not so much, because she's really in a stage where she's 15 and she's kind of rebellious, and she's like, whatever I'm doing, she doesn't really care. She wants to use chemical products, and she says that Tesla also, when the batteries are created, they also harm the environment in the production. And I'm like, okay, I'm tired of arguing. I'm just hoping that she overgrows, because I remember myself at 16, I was always unhappy. I was just grumpy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Awesome. You have an incredible story, Jane. You really are an incredible inspiration.
Thank you so much.
How much respect I have for you personally. Hey, we've run over, folks, and I said we're going to, but does anybody have any questions that like to ask Jane? Does anybody want to, Laura, you got anything you want to talk to Jane about? Anybody else want to come out? Cynthia, Sue?
I'll ask her a question.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind, Jane, maybe real quick, could you tell us your favorite leader, your favorite book, and something that none of us, well, something new that maybe none of us would know about you?
Okay. The favorite leader, my favorite leader was Ray Higdon, because I felt like when I listened to his story, mine didn't seem so bad, because he went through a bad childhood, and like his father or stepfather or somebody, he was just like throwing him against the wall every morning, and then he got into drugs or something. So I felt like, oh no, I'm like one person, like one kid. I was always spoiled. I was always like, so I felt, so his story inspired me. So I like him a lot. Recently, my favorite are also John and Nadia Melton. Nadia is Russian. She's really actually from the same area where I'm from. And they're so funny and hilarious, and they just have this incredible energy. I love their leadership, how they do it. The book that I think that helped me a lot was, I forgot the name. So one that really, really stood out to me was Take the Stairs, or Taking the Stairs. And that was about how everybody in our world wants to take the escalator. And if you just start taking the stairs everywhere you go, you would achieve, like, let's say everybody wants an easy way out, and they're looking for like an easy button and want to shortcut. But take the stairs is, he was giving an example of how the bulls were, if it's raining and it's like a storm, what happens, the cows run with the direction of the rain, so they actually stay in the rain for a longer period of time. And then the bulls are different. They run against the rain, so they pass the storm faster, but they have to get enough courage to run towards it so that they're not fearful. So it's basically a good metaphor that if you fear something, you have to get enough courage, go through it, do it, and then you will realize that it wasn't as hard or as scary as you thought it would be. So Take the Stairs, the one book. And one more book was about affirmations, but it was called Afformations, or instead of affirmations, it was Afformations. And I think it was by, I forgot. I just need to
Noah St. John.
Yes, Noah St. John. And he was talking about it's like really, really hard to say affirmation. I'm smart. I'm skinny when you're overweight and you feel like not very smart. So it's like, oh, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to your brain. So he suggested to do it like ask a question, like in a Google search. It's like, oh, why am I so successful? Why? And he would say why in front of and ask it as a question. That helps your brain to make better choices to become what you're asking. So, and then what was the last question?
Well, what is something that we, today, something new that nobody knows about you that you want to share?
Okay. Actually, I was just, I was sharing with some of my friends, one of my friends that is really, really successful in network marketing. Sometimes I do, like, even though like when we are successful, when we reach a certain income point, and even if we are going through all this personal development, sometimes things that happen to us in real life, like I have had a lot of challenges with my daughter lately, so I have been crying a lot, and that's not a lot of people know about me, that I'm really not always high energy and I'm always like on the go and I'm like, yay, sometimes I do feel really down. Yeah.
Well, that makes you real, because that's probably why there's so many people that can connect with you, because while some people expect us to be energetic and happy all the time, well, that's, it's not real life.
And it's like in every successful person, like I know a lot of successful people and they have challenges with their kids or their personal life or their whatever, and people just think, oh, once you're successful, like all these issues go away, and they don't.
Amazing. They're still there.
Right.
Listen, I can tell you beyond any shadow of a doubt that anyone who's raised a teenage girl has gone through some serious challenges. This is
Amen. Amen. I got a 19, almost 20-year-old.
Wow.
That's my baby. Please, finally growing up. There is hope. There is hope. Okay. I'm telling you, there's hope. I have to. Yeah, there is hope.
So
and especially like I know what would help her, like what helped me, all the mindset stuff, but they have their interest and they're tuned into their own YouTube channels and whatever, and that's not really positive, and that's how they're basically brainwashed, and the mom doesn't know nothing because whatever, she's the mom.
Yeah. Well, they get smarter, but it takes about 25 years until they're 25, because I have a 31-year-old too. So trust me.
It gets better.
It takes a long time, though, dear. So don't cry about it. Just let them go. Let them go and let them learn the hard way, and they will come back when that's my advice. They will come back, because just be positive and just do what you do, just like you brush everybody else off. Just go, don't listen to that crap. Yeah, right. That's all you got to do.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tough time. It really is. It really is. All righty, folks. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to ask Jane before we let her go here? And if not, I have one final question for you, Jane. But let's let anyone else who has something to say it.
Deborah's got a question.
I was wondering, Jane, if you would share with us the link to your YouTube channel so that we might be able to watch some of your videos and learn from them.
I think it's Jane Orlov. if you search on YouTube, you just put Jane Orlov in there. I think that's
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, she shouldn't be hard to find. And by the way, I was at the Great Green event. So were you, Laura. We've both seen the video that Jane had the courage to let them show the video where she was on the floor crying.
I cried when we were watching that.
What's that?
I cried when I was watching that.
Well, I did too. It was so powerful, so powerful. And
the reason I recorded the video is because when I saw all the successful people, I didn't really see them being with all the limited beliefs or whatever they had, like they weren't speakers or they weren't whatever. And I thought, oh, I have to share my beginning on video. And I didn't really, my coach at the time, Rebecca, she said, don't show the video, because if you show your really vulnerable side, then people will pity you. They will sympathize with you, but they will not see a strong person to lead them. So I only showed it once I overcame all the, and became, I had a big team and things like that.
Well, I think showing that, and you're right about Ray Higdon too. He's got an incredible story, and that's what makes him so powerful. And it's what really inspires people too, that people can overcome these incredibly difficult beginnings and rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I just love your story. I love your story, and I love you. I just think you're an incredible person.
Thank you.
I got one final question as we close here. Is there any last piece of advice that you want to give to people, or would give to people that are working on growing their business and they're not quite where you are, but they're working on it?
I think what I learned when I was trying to grow my business, I was relying on other people, and I was relying on finding somebody successful, somebody with connections, somebody with whatever. And I was like really lacking knowledge myself. I didn't really have communication skills. I didn't really grasp how to provide value to other people. I didn't really do personal development in the beginning. And I was just hoping on the outside force to attract somebody who was successful. And at one point I gave up because it wasn't working, and I gave up, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to become one myself. And once I started developing, I went outside of my comfort zone, and I started growing myself. I started attracting people, leaders that had influence, and they had skill set, and they had all these other things. So, and then I learned, you attract not what you want, you attract who you are. So if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, well, I would want to be on their team, they seem knowledgeable, they help a lot, they're valuable. If you don't see that, then improve your skill set to become more valuable to more people.
That's an awesome piece of advice. You attract who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to become the person that you want to attract into your life.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well,
here's another one for you, okay? You attract who you are, not what you want, and normal is in your own house. No place else in the world is it normal.
Yes.
Oh, there's Alicia. Alicia,
yes.
You want to come out and say hi, hon? Now, here is a young lady who's going to grow up and just be an awesome contributor to the world. She is such an incredible young lady.
Yes.
We may be looking at the first female president of the United States here. I'm not sure. We could be.
That's only if she wants it. Sometimes we want things for the kids that they don't want, and as long as they're what they want, right?
But the message that I'm giving is that we have a young lady here who's got the spirit and the capability to just become absolutely anything she wants to be.
Yes.
Yeah, anything. She's an incredible young girl. Right, Alicia? There you go. All righty. Jane, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you came today. I really, really love having you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for supporting.
Yeah, thank you, Jane. It was really inspiring to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All righty. I'm going to stop the recording.